AS Level Biology 9700. Paper 1, Variant 2, October November 2024, question number 29 to 40. The question number 29 is, here you can see the diagram shows a section through the human heart. Four labelings are there. Which label is correct? A, pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. A is not the pulmonary artery. You can see highly muscular blood vessel, which is taking the blood from the left ventricle towards the body in this way. You can see. So this is the aorta, and you know the aorta is the blood vessel which distributes the blood throughout the body. And B is left ventricle. This is not ventricle. This is left atrium. And C, right atrium, correct. This is the right atrium. And D is the aorta. No, D is not aorta. It is the blood vessel which taking the blood from ventricle towards the lungs. So this is the pulmonary artery. So C is the correct option. And this is the correct labeling as well. Now we are moving towards the question number 30. And you can see the question number 30 is a graph which shows how the volume of the left ventricle changes during one cardiac cycle, which point on the graph represents the start of arterial systole. We have to present a point when the atrial systole takes place. Here they have given us the ventricular volume. And you can see the ventricular volume was at the start at the point A, it was 100%. Then volume is start decreasing. Between A and B, it is decreasing. It means that the ventricular systole is taking place, due to which the blood is pushed out of the ventricles. But between B and C, there is increase in the blood volume. Again, the blood volume is increasing. It means at that time, the ventricular diastole is taking place. Blood is entering, blood is filling into the ventricles. So at that time, when the blood is filling into the ventricles, it means at that time, arterial systole takes place, which push the blood out from the atrium into the ventricles. So a very close point with this, you can see it starts at B, the ventricular diastole is starting, and it ends at C. It means when the diastole is ending at the same time, there should be the atrial systole. So the very closest point from B is the C. So C is the correct option in this case. Next, which statement is correct? So they have given us 4 statements, and in a red blood cell, carbon dioxide can combine with hemoglobin to form hemoglobinic acid. This is not the correct statement, because when carbon dioxide combines with hemoglobin, it forms carbaminohemoglobin. Carbonic anhydrase is an enzyme that catalyzes the reaction between carbon dioxide and water. Yes, this is the correct. That is carbonic anhydrase is that enzyme. So which catalyzes the reaction between carbon dioxide and water. This is correct statement. At the lungs, next statement is at the lungs, carbon dioxide is released when carbonic acid and water reacts together. Again, statement is wrong because what happens when carbonic acid breaks down, carbon dioxide and water is released. So carbonic acid is broken down into carbon dioxide. H2CO3 is broken down into carbon dioxide water. So statement is not correct. The greater the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood, the higher the affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen. Again, this statement is not correct. Why it is not correct? Because when there is greater the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood, then at that time there should be the, you can say, the affinity of hemoglobin with oxygen will decrease because carbon dioxide is harmful gas. So it has to be removed out of the blood. Immediately it has to be removed out of the blood. So for this purpose, at that time, when the concentration of carbon dioxide is high in the blood, so the affinity of hemoglobin with the oxygen will decrease and its affinity with carbon dioxide will increase. So carbon dioxide will, you can say, bind with hemoglobin to form carbamino hemoglobin. So in this way, carbon dioxide from the blood will be removed. So here in this case, only B is the correct option. So answer of 31 is B. We are moving towards the question number 32. And question number 32 is, which row is correct for an artery? Inner layer, middle layer, and outer layer. They have told us about the inner layer. And you know that, and it's smooth. A and B have smooth layer of endodermal cell. Endodermal cells are present only in plant cells. So A and B cannot be the correct options. So inner layer has smooth layer of squamous cells. Yes, yes, epithelial cells you can say on the other side. So inner layer can be any one of these. Middle layer contains collagen, elastic fibers, and smooth muscles. Yes, elastic collagen, elastic fibers, and smooth muscles, all they are present in the middle layer of an artery. Then the outer layer can have the collagen and elastic fibers. So according to this, D is not the correct option again. C is the correct option, which shows the features of the gas exchange surface that increases diffusion of carbon dioxide and oxygen. So here in this case, you can see concentration gradient and diffusion distance. Gas exchange surface, diffusion of carbon dioxide and oxygen. So the concentration gradient, if the concentration gradient is steep, then you can say the diffusion distance will become short or diffusion distance will become long. So it will be concentration gradient is steep. It or shallow. So then diffusion distance, if it is steep, the diffusion distance will become short. So according to this, you can see the steepness and you can say this is the shallowness. So when this is steep, so the concentration, so there the difference is decreased. So diffusion distance becomes short, due to which the diffusion of the gases will take place fastly. So the answer is B. Question number 34. And question number 34, you can see the electron micrograph shows some of the airways in the gaseous exchange system of an insect and the respiring body cells that surrounds them. And in this case, they have given us four statements. Yeah. Each trachea is filled with air. Respiring, they have given us the respiring body cells, and then they have labeled each trachea is filled with air, which enters through tiny holes called spiracles. Each trachea is held open by spiracles of a material called chitin. Tracheoles are narrow tubes which branch from a wide trachea. They lie next to body cells and gaseous exchange occurs across them directly into the respiring body. So here you can see that which statements describe correct differences between the insect gas exchange system shown in the electron micrograph and the human gas exchange system. Gas exchange occurs through the walls of the airways directly into the respiring body cells in insect, but this does not occur in humans. Humans have, this statement is true. Humans have a proper respiratory tract which starts from the nostrils and ends at the diffusion surface, that is the alveolus. So it is a proper complication. So, but in case of, you can say, through the, directly through the airways, directly into the respiring, but we have, the trachea is divided into bronchus, bronchus into bronchioles, and bronchioles is divided into, you can say, further balloon shaped alveolus. So in this way, this statement is correct because they are different. There are spiracles of chitin in the walls of the trachea in insect to hold it open, but not in humans. Spiracles of chitin. This is, you can say this again, this is true because uh, in humans, the spiracles of chitin is not present. Human has proper respiratory tract through which the exchange of gases takes place. Air enters and then leaves. So again, this statement is also correct. There is more than one trachea in the gas exchange system of the insect, but only one in humans again. We have only one trachea. Trachea is further divided into bronchus, bronchioles. Further, you can say to the diffusion surface, that is the alveolus, where the diffusion or the exchange of gases takes place. So according to these three statements are correct, we are different. Our respiratory system or the gaseous exchange system is different from an insect. So according to this, A is the correct option. Now question number 35 is, question number 35, which row is correct for wall of the trachea and the wall of the bronchus? Cartilage, definitely. They are made up of cartilage. Smooth muscles, yes, smooth muscles are also there. Goblet cells are also present in the trachea and the bronchus. So according to this, A is the correct option. B, C, D are not the correct options. Only A is the correct option because cartilage, they are made up of cartilage. Smooth muscles are also there and goblet cells are also present. The goblet cells are meant produce mucus, and they capture the dust particles and the microorganisms which try to enter into our respiratory tract. Now question number 36, and question number 36 is, a bacterial pathogen produces a protein that acts as a toxin. This toxin is harmful to humans. Scientists are developing monoclonal antibodies that can be used to detect the presence of toxin in the body so that early treatment can be given. Which statements describe steps in the development of these monoclonal antibodies? Okay, the first statement, the toxin protein is injected into a mouse and triggers mitosis of specific beta lymphocytes. This is correct. Because when this toxin is injected into the mouse, then what happens? The mitosis is started and the beta lymphocytes, you can say, they are produced. So the antibodies Second statement are collected from the spleen of the mouse and fused with myeloma cells. Antibodies are collected. There is the formation of plasma cells or beta lymphocytes. Then they are fused with myeloma, not the antibodies. Antibodies will be produced when myeloma and plasma cells will bind together. They will fuse together. So this statement is not correct. A hybridoma cell produces many antibodies with a variety of different variable regions. No, a hybridoma cell will produce only one type of antibodies. So again, this statement is not correct. So according to this, only B is the correct option. Which statements are correct for penicillin? And you know, the penicillin is an antibiotic, and this antibiotic is uh, three statements have been given. This antibiotic can be used against the bacteria only, to kill the bacteria only. So it is harmful to prokaryotic cells. Statement is correct. Then it disrupts cell wall synthesis. Yes, it disrupts the cell wall synthesis, due to which the cell wall is not properly manufactured. It's you can say synthesis is blocked, due to which uh, what happens? It becomes left effective with regular use. Again, that is the penicillin. You know, when we are regularly use it after uh, every type of infection. So what will happen? There will be the resistance against its disease. So the bacteria will produce, a, you can say, a resistant against this antibiotic, due to which we can say this statement is also correct. So I would like to say uh, A is the correct option. Now we are moving towards the next question, number 38. And question number 38 is, why is passive immunity effective for only a short time? So first of all, what is passive immunity? Passive immunity is that type of immunity which is not produced by the body. So the passive immunities, you can say, has to be taken from the other persons. As for example, the passive immunity type, example of passive immunity is when the mother to fetus. Secondly, when we take antibodies from any other person's body, so at that type of immunity will be called as the passive immunity. So here in this case, they have given us four options. Antibodies are rapidly broken down. It is a short-term immunity which is produced at that time when we intake the, you can say, antibodies from others, because our body is not producing those antibodies. So antibodies are rapidly broken down. Yes, this is the correct statement. Antigens are those microorganisms which enter into the body. So this is not the correct option. Memory cells soon die. Memory cells are not produced in due to passive immunity. Phagocytes soon die. Again, this is not the correct option, because the passive immunity is a short-term immunity which is not produced by the body. We have to take it from others. As for example, the mother gives the passive immunity to her fetus, or we can take the antibodies from the others. So this is the reason. This is the short-term immunity, and the A is the correct answer in this case. Which row is correct for the control and prevention methods for each disease? Tuberculosis, TB, malaria, cholera. Cholera, uh, TB, tuberculosis, which is a contagious disease, which can, uh, you can say, from one person to, it is transferred from one person to another. So vaccination We can say that vaccination is helpful for this. It can be controlled with the help of this vaccination. And chlorination of water, no. Contact tracing, yes. Destruction of the vector, again, no. So malaria is caused by the plasmodium, and vector in this case is the mosquito which transfer this disease. So chlorination of water, contact tracing, and vaccination, no. Only the destruction of the vector is important in this case. That is, we can destroy the mosquitoes. Then in this way we can reduce or we can control the malaria. And cholera, vaccination, destruction of the vector, chlorination of water. Yes, this is the disease uh, which is transferred by the contaminated water and food. So according to the C is the correct option in this case, or question number 39. Now we are moving towards the last question, which is question number 40. Peptidoglycan is stained purple by the chemical crystal violet. Which cells would stain purple in the presence of crystal violet? Here you can see palisade mesophyll cells, palisade mesophyll cells. Peptidoglycan is stained purple by the chemical crystal violet. Which cells would stain purple in the presence of crystal violet? So here you can see the palisade mesophyll cells which are present in the plants. And next, Vibrocolra cells, which cause the cholera in human beings. So Plasmodium falciparum cells, again, no. Endothelial cells, yes. And peptidoglycan is present in the bacterial wall. So B is the correct option, because peptidoglycan is only present in the bacterial cell wall. So B is the correct option in this case. Now it was all about question number 29 to 40. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.